I'm an addict named Merle.
Hey, Merle.
Our next speaker is someone who I have shared a home group with. We've been in service together, but most importantly, Ted is a friend of mine. And I know that when we get on the phone, we can talk up a storm. We're usually on the phone for about an hour. Ted emanates kindness, humility, and passion for Narcotics Anonymous. He also has a lot of gratitude, and his passion carries him far. And I think that with that, I'd like to introduce Ted.
Thanks for introducing me, Merle. I appreciate it. I'm an addict named Ted.
Hey, Ted.
And we have truly gone from, as my friend Kurt likes to say, from the rooms to the Zooms, and here we are on the Zooms. And man, I'm so grateful that you asked me to share. I'm grateful that my sponsor has such a big hand in this service project, like a lot of service, and he has inspired me to do service, and my sponsor is Craig. When we talk about gratitude, you know, I downloaded the PDF for the basic text, and it works how and why, because I was trying to determine what piece of literature it says that a grateful addict will never use. I couldn't find it. I couldn't even find it in the IPs. Like, I was a little bit frustrated because I know I've heard that in our literature, and I have quoted it in meetings numerous times. The fact that it doesn't say that a grateful addict may not use, probably won't, shouldn't. It says never. But of course, I can't find out where it says that. But I'm sticking to that anyway. And I will tell you that I try to remain grateful. And for me, gratitude really is an action. It's a feeling. It's something that I pray about. I pray for gratitude, but it really is an action. And you know, I heard a long time ago, you know, that my gratitude shows when I care and share the NA way. Right. And so what am I doing to show that gratitude? Am I taking some action? Am I really, you know, that person that is willing to go to any lengths, is willing to answer the phone at odd hours, is willing to take on sponsees, is willing to, you know, show up in my home group on a consistent basis. And for the most part, I've done that over the years. And Craig has even inspired me to do a little bit of area service. I was involved with my area for several years, and reality is I need to get back there. But you know, I don't have the type of service experience that Craig has, or that our previous speaker had, but I do have a taste of gratitude. And again, you know, I think that service starts at a local level, right? At our home group, like setting up chairs, and back in the day, emptying ashtrays, you know, which I'd never really liked doing, but that's something that we did anyway. You know, we haven't had to do that for a long time. You know, there's been a lot of things that have given me gratitude throughout the years. And I remember a couple of early instances. One was that they brought me to a meeting on Tuesday nights when I was in treatment, that when I got out would become my home group. And that is the oldest continuous Narcotics Anonymous meeting on the East Coast. It's in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. And, you know, and I really felt grateful that night to be able to go to that meeting. I got out on a Tuesday, and I was there Tuesday night. And people welcomed me and said, we're glad you're here, keep coming back. And that meant a lot to me, you know, and so I know that, you know, for me, gratitude is not having what I want, but wanting what I have, you know, and I've had a little, and I've had a lot. Like, I'm doing okay. Like, I work hard. I've been at the same job for 32 years now, and I'm financially comfortable. But you know, it wasn't always that way. And so early on, you know, like I had this feeling of gratitude, like I got clean in the spring, and now the flowers are starting to bloom, and I was beginning to see nature for the first time ever. And there was just this tremendous, like, wow, this is what life has to offer. Because prior to that, when I was using, none of that stuff meant anything to me, ever. And so all of a sudden I began to get a gratitude for you know, just for life, really, you know. And I began to get some gratitude for you know, just for the feeling of beginning to be able to live within my own skin, the feeling to be able to not hate myself all the time. And that, man, I'll tell you what, when you live your life, well, you guys know, I don't have to tell you, but when you live your life in active addiction for a long time, and you experience as much self-loathing as I experienced, all of a sudden, you know, you're able to look at yourself in the mirror and begin to like the person that you see on the other side of that mirror. That's a great experience, and that'll give you a lot of gratitude. My second, one of my most spiritual experiences I ever had in my life, and talk about gratitude, was that you know, I got the call that my father had passed on Christmas morning about 3 a.m. I had about a half-hour drive, and during that drive, instead of feeling you know, intense sorrow, self-pity, I felt gratitude. I felt gratitude that I could show up for my family and not be loaded. Wow, that was amazing. And I didn't even know that I was feeling it at the time. Like, it didn't even occur to me that it was a big deal. But a few hours later, I said to myself, oh my Lord, I really felt like gratitude, you know, even after finding out that my father had passed suddenly at a relatively young age. And that was huge to me. Like, that was just something that I really held on to, you know. So for me, a big part of my gratitude is feeding my gift of desperation. Right. So if I can continue to feed that gift of desperation by keeping in mind how bad it is out there if I were to go out and use, by participating in my recovery, I can't say that I have the gift of desperation and then not do anything about it. Like, to me, that just doesn't float. So I need to take that gift of desperation that I have been given. It's a gift. You know, what am I going to do with this gift now? Am I going to, you know, cherish it and polish it and keep it on the mantle? Or am I going to throw it in the attic and let it collect dust? You know, and I try to feed my gift of desperation. I try to treasure my gift of desperation through the actions that I take in my recovery process. You know, reading literature, talking to my sponsor, working steps, you know, sponsoring people, and participating in my home group. And one of the biggest ways in which I get gratitude is by helping a newcomer. And during this pandemic, that's been difficult for me. We haven't had newcomers showing up at my home group and most of the meetings that I go to. So, like, how do I get that? Where do I get that? Well, let's just hope that this pandemic passes soon. I think it will. You know, so that's a way that I used to get gratitude that I haven't been able to get gratitude for almost a year now. And you know, I don't know where the newcomers are going. I don't know if they're going to the in-person meetings. I'm not going to in-person meetings personally, you know, but they're not coming to. I haven't seen many of them at the meetings that I go to. So that's been, you know, that's been a little bit rough for me. But and you know, the other thing that I have tremendous gratitude for is my friends. Like, a number of them are on this meeting tonight. I asked them to come out and support me, and they have. My sponsors here, and you know, if I when I often journal about, you know, the things that I'm grateful for, you know. And for one thing, I'm alive. You know, I have a sibling that died from this disease 2.5 years ago. I have another sibling that's dying from lung cancer right now in a nursing home. And I have another brother who passed from COVID in April. You know, so here I am, relatively healthy, very much alive, participating in my recovery on a Narcotics Anonymous meeting on a Saturday night. Man, I have a lot to be grateful for. And, you know, my higher power not only rescued me from this disease, but carried me through my active addiction. And I really believe that. There are numerous times that I know that I could have lost my life or gotten in serious, serious trouble in my active addiction. And that's when I can look back, and it's like that footprints prayer. I was being carried across the sand. There were only one set of footprints. You know, I know that my higher power was carrying me during those times, and I can look back on that, and you know, that's clear to me. I can see that. You know, so the thing is if I go out and use, I can't count on that to happen anymore. Like, I feel like I've already been given my 9 lives. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of on the last one here. You know, so I really liked that opening PowerPoint presentation was awesome, because, you know, that one guy was like sitting in a corner and it said, just, you know, please help me not use today. And like, that's really been my recovery. Like, I've made mistakes. I've done, I earlier I heard people talking about service work and about how, you know, we don't have to do everything perfectly. We can go out and make mistakes. And that's been my life. You know, I've made mistakes, but the one mistake I haven't made is I haven't used. I haven't picked up a drug ever since I got here to Narcotics Anonymous. So I'm extraordinarily grateful for Narcotics Anonymous for you guys allowing me to share in this on this forum. It's really I don't know what else to say. That's all I have. Thanks for letting me share.